Wherein the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Wherein the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I'm sorry we're late. I was showing told you my elephantitis. I still can't get over that big old ball sack.
I can't believe she showed that and was about to show like the two-headed pecker on live on the safe show.
The two-headed pecker. We're not talking about woodpecker either. That was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty cool, but anyway, welcome back to Where in the Folk. Today, we're diving into the mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch. It's this 512-acre property in Ballard, Utah, has been the center of bizarre UFO sightings, cryptid encounters, and eerie paranormal activity for centuries.
Hey,
so what's really happening out there? Do you believe? So join us as we break down the eerie legends, historical accounts, and the strangest stories. Before the TV shows and investigations, Skinwalker Ranch had already had a reputation. But how did it become so famous? Let's find out today. You like that?
Yeah, that's great, actually.
Hey, Linda. Let's see. So, the origins and myths of Skinwalker Ranch. So, essentially, Skinwalker Ranch originated from the Navajo legend and are said to be malevolent.
Malevolent.
I can't say that word. Malevolent.
There you go.
Like the character.
Yeah.
So, whatever the malevolent shapeshifters akin to dark counterparts of medicine men. To become a Skinwalker, an individual must take the life of a close family member in a ritual they are believed to possess supernatural abilities, including controlling animals and taking on various forms. Sometimes I wish I had that ability. I'd love to run around like a dog. Like my dog, especially. I would love to be my dogs. Just chill out all day, sleep like 22 hours a day.
Yeah, I feel like Skinwalkers probably don't have that chill of a life, though. Like, I feel like that's a lot going on. I feel like that'd be a lot of responsibility. I wonder if you have to maintain your like Skinwalker status once you get it.
I don't know, but I mean, you got to break into the modern times at some point. You know, become a German Shepherd and be like, "What's up?" and just chill, walk around your house, poop out in the yard and whatnot, eat food. It'd be fun. But anyway, so all of it starts to. Earliest recorded facts I could find about it was in the 1600s. That's a long time ago. Yeah, I didn't find anything specific, but basically this is when all the stories started in the area. Reports of strange occurrences in the Uinta Basin date back to the 1600s, with indigenous tribes describing supernatural entities and mysterious lights in the sky. So even back in the 1600s, they were seeing things like if you've never pooped in the yard, you should give it a try, Linda. It's actually it's a unique experience. I hope you live in the country, or else that could be a charge for sure. But even back then, they were seeing, the lights in the sky and things like this. So, I mean, do you think that it could have possibly been, UFO encounters even back then? Possibly, I would think so. And the supernatural entities and things like that, like they didn't really specify, but I mean, they were probably talking about spirits.
Yeah, well, you remember the Museum of Tarot video that we watched a few weeks ago, where he was basically saying that everything that people see modern day is like as a result of brain damage from government experiments.
Yeah.
Remember seeing that?
Yeah.
If that's true, either like with accounts going back so far,
Yeah.
either that's just not the case, or there was some kind of technology there that somebody found at some point, because it goes way before government technologies, I think.
Yeah. Larry asked, are skinwalkers said to only come in form of animals or humans also?
Well,
Very good question.
yeah, skinwalkers begin as humans,
Yeah.
according to native lore. And what was it? It's not that it's Wendigos where they have to eat somebody, but they have
Skinwalkers actually have to take the life of somebody, but I don't think they have to eat them.
yeah. So basically, I guess if you distill it down to its core, it would be native magic, or a form of like dark medicine, as some would say.
Yeah.
That I think they have to kill somebody that they love.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could never become a skinwalker because the only person I truly love is myself.
You're stupid. I'm sure Mandy would love to hear that.
She'll love that. But I mean, so the earliest signs of anything strange were in the 1600s, but in the 1700s, early Spanish explorers traveling through the Uinta Basin reported seeing strange flying crafts hovering over their campfires at night. These sightings were documented in the Spanish expedition logs and were some of the earliest recorded UFO counters in the region. So that's pretty neat. And that kind of ties into the blind fog, don't it?
Yeah, Blind Frog is the ranch adjacent to Skinwalker Ranch, and they have very similar, just like strange stuff that happens constantly, but not to the level of Skinwalker. It's almost like there's something under the ground at Skinwalker Ranch, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But the government actually owned Skinwalker Ranch at one point.
Yeah.
But I know there's nothing in here about Blind Frog. Just to give a touch on that for a second. So a oil baron bought the land at Blind Frog Ranch, bought the ranch. And so he's already like super wealthy. And he bought it because there was evidence there could be gold underground. Like they did I guess a bore survey, and the dirt had traces of what could be a large gold deposit. So they get into digging a little bit, and they find an underwater like cave.
Mm-hmm.
They send in the dude's son, who's a registered like deep sea diver. So this wasn't nothing. So he goes cave diving and gets into the cave, and he has a camera with him, and there's a structure. There's a wooden structure, think Lincoln log.
Yeah.
And he reaches his hand in. Hey, Easy.
What's up, Easy?
He reaches his hand into the Lincoln log formation and pulls out a Spanish gold coin. And people are like, well, how did the Spanish gold coin ended up in a flooded cave underground across from Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah.
So the story goes that when Cortez invaded in South America, or pre-invasion, they landed, they met the natives, they reported cities of gold. So Cortez goes back to raise an army to bring back and take the gold. He gets back and the gold's gone. So they allegedly ran that gold all the way through the Americas to their cousins around Utah, and the natives had the gold because even by the accounts, like the LDS Church, Joseph Smith was struggling, and I guess he must have just been a really charming dude, because the natives allegedly took him to a cave where they gave him gold, which he started that church with. So I think the reason they're finding like Spanish gold in that area is because it was it was funneled up through the Americas from an exchange with Cortez.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good story. We should cover that sometime in length too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on at Blind Frog Ranch. They've had the government show up a bunch, like people breaking into their places, seeing what they're up to, people encroaching, trying to dig for stuff. It's just been nuts.
Yeah, I'd like to go out there and dig a little bit. See if I can find me a little treasure.
Yeah.
So the reports continued into the 1800s. During this time, it was wilderness and things like that. And trappers and settlers that had made their way to the area reported encounters with strange creatures that resembled the description of a skinwalker. Entities capable of transforming into animals or humans, so they can transfer into other humans.
Other humans, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yep. These accounts contribute to the area's mystique and were often shared in local folklore. So, I mean, it's really a unique piece of ground because these reports of lights in the sky, mysterious creatures, paranormal activity, and things like this can be traced all the way back to the 1600s. So that's really neat.
Yeah, I was gonna let me see where you're at here.
I'm at 1905 now. We're getting started on 1905.
Got you. You want me to pick it up?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Pick up this section. So in 1905, the ranch was first homesteaded by the Myers family, who built several small structures which can still be found today around the northwest corner of the property at the foot of Skinwalker Ridge.
Nope.
And I don't know if this isn't the family that sees the black dog, is it?
No.
Okay.
It comes way later. But yeah, this is when they really settled the area and quarantined it off into a homestead, like a full blown ranch at this point.
Got you. So it's just like desert.
Yeah.
But I guess from the 30s to 87, Kenneth and Edith Myers owned and occupied the ranch. While specific accounts of paranormal activity during their tenure are scarce, local reports of strange lights, unexplained noises, and more creature disappearances, their livestock was disappearing, continued in the whole surrounding area of Skinwalker Ranch.
So, I mean, there were a lot of stories that kind of came out while they owned the property too, but they seem to be pretty tight-lipped about it for the most part, which, coming from where we come from, the old timers, when they would see strange stuff, they'd always kind of write it off, like,
yes.
And even if it was something that was reoccurring, they'd be like, it's just what it is. No big deal.
Yeah.
They probably just didn't want people thinking that they were fucking weird or, tell people that there's aliens, they're going to think that we're fucking out here doing witchcraft.
Yeah.
But, that was the 30s to 87. But in 1951, Joseph Hicks and his students actually seen a UFO, lending Hicks to catalog hundreds of sightings in the region around that whole area.
That had to be the first kind of impasse into UFO territory in that, at least officially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that had him, catalog everything. So he's one. I wish I would got more information on him. I thought I did. I'm starting to think that this is an old version of this, but whatever. But in 1964, Paul Peterson actually encountered a UFO and saw humanoid figures inside who telepathically asked for permission to beam him up. He refused, so they just left. Would you refuse?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, at this point in my life, what do I got to lose?
Like, yeah, let's go. Can we go visit Uranus? Or something? I don't know. That would be really fun for me. Like, I kind of want to get abducted at this point, just to have the experience.
Not by our government though. Like, no. It would need to be like actual aliens,
not like a X-Files thing, but yeah, for sure.
Who says that? It was Soldier Boy the other day. he was like, man, I don't care about no aliens if they ain't buying my music on Spotify. He's like, buy some records and then I might care about the aliens.
I kind of feel that. I mean, if they're not adding to the economy, who gives a shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't paying taxes.
That's true. That's true, Easy. Most aliens are here to visit Uranus and not Uranus. I don't know. Like, is the probing thing like a requirement, you think?
No, but if you remember, they said that who was it? Truman. It was one of the early like mid 20th century presidents that gave them permission to silently abduct randos.
I think it was Truman. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell us in the comments here. I'm sure Easy or somebody remembers who it was, but they made a pact with the aliens to only abduct certain individuals and things like that. They actually made an American Horror Stories about it. So
you ain't going, Landa? I mean, I'm just like, you know, you've experienced so much in life. You know, we know. I mean, it's better than 9 to 5, right? Like it's an adventure.
There was I forget who was talking about, but what they's like, when the aliens come down, they're going to enslave humanity and make us work 32 hours a week and give us full health benefits.
Yeah, you have to work 3 days per week, and you get free health care.
Well, everybody be like, oh no.
Yeah. We're sorry, but we have to enslave you. You have to work 3 days per week, 5-hour days.
Oh God, that's my dream job. My dream job's working 20 hours a week, making $100 an hour.
Well, that's not a bad goal.
Yeah, that's all I want. That ain't too much to ask for.
You just gotta figure out a plan. I don't know any occupation that's legal though. That
I mean, I tried the OnlyFans thing and everybody let me down. Let me down hardcore on that.
I don't know. That some people did good with like feet pics.
Yeah, didn't work. I even went on feetpicfinder.com. Got a profile out there. But anyway, I don't know, like I really would like to be abducted by an alien. I think it'd be some kind of experience. But anyway, moving on. During the 70s and the 80s, that's when the cattle mutilations actually started popping up in vast numbers.
So not just disappearances.
Yeah. Numerous reports surfaced of cattle being found dead with surgical-like precision in their wounds. Organs were often removed with no blood left behind, and there were no signs of struggle or predatory activity. These mutilations added to the growing mystery surrounding the region. Cattle mutilation things are nuts.
Yeah.
Just seeing the pictures of them, like, people say that it's scavengers like buzzards and stuff, which I have came across, a corpse of an animal in the woods before, and it really doesn't. It really does kind of look like that sometimes, like a perfect circle or something. It doesn't look like it was like ate out. But no. Some of these things are wild. Like they're like when they take out just sections of skin. Like it's weird.
Yeah, there was another. Just going back to Blonde Frog for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a different vibe of a show than the Skinwalker Ranch one. So they obviously have like roads that they ride quads on all the time because it's a ranch.
Yeah.
So from one day to the next on the road that they travel every single day, they are driving down the road and find a cow that has the surgical precision that you're talking about, but it also has it looks like it's been out in the desert for 3 months. Like it's
Really?
it's like French toast crispy, and it's in the middle of a road that they drive every day. They're like a predator out here couldn't. There was no drag marks for it to have drug in place,
Hmm.
so it's almost like it fell out of the sky.
Hmm. Do you think that they're just getting good cuts of meat? Is that what it is? Like,
I don't know. I mean, you think about like if I'm sure that this has happened, but imagine if we found an alien and we would want to know how its innards worked, right?
yeah,
So think like Predator, like those movies when they're collecting skulls and figuring out the anatomy of things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. That would be kind of violent to me, really. I don't know. Like, why cows? Cows are always the one. You don't really hear about pigs often.
Well, I would say, especially if you're beaming stuff up, it's probably hard to beam up a deer because they're very agile and hoppy.
But not a pig. Pig.
Uh, I mean, who's to say they haven't beamed up every docile animal at this point?
That's true. That's true. But in 1974 to 75, physiologist Frank Salisbury and that teacher Joseph Hicks we talked about earlier published the Utah UFO Display, a scientist report detailing hundreds of UFO encounters in the Uinta Basin. So
This is a stupid question. What's a physiologist?
I don't know. They
Let's see.
study how things become fizzy. Like,
Yes.
what? How does decarbonation get inside the cell?
Okay. Physiology is related to anatomy. It's the scientific study of how living organisms function with a particular focus on the mechanisms and processes that maintain life. So again, if a physiologist is out there, like Dr. Pepper was a physiologist. But yeah, so I think the aliens, when they're abducting these cows and stuff, they're doing their own physiology.
More than likely, and I don't know. That would be. I don't. How does one become a physiologist? I guess college.
College. For
College.
sure. Yeah, that's
College.
got college wrote all over it. I don't think you could imagine like a blue collar path to be a physiologist.
Frank Salisbury, fucking inventor of Salisbury steak, was a goddamn college boy. I'm getting off trail. But anyway, in the late 70s, an oil rig worker named Ray Kelsey and about 200 other people witnessed a UFO above a drilling site in the area, which later mysteriously exploded. The whole drilling site exploded. The ship was extracting an unknown substance from the ground. Now, that's going to come back to play into the revelations of the area later on. When we originally did this, and we had Uncle Dave's crazy conspiracy theories, he had a good one that was based around this.
That's probably good to mention this. So way back when, before Wearing the Folk, they did cover Skinwalker Ranch a little bit. I think there's been definitely some development since then. But yeah, we're just kind of Cecil's got a list of sort of classic shows that we're going to be redoing.
Yeah, when I first started podcasting, it was called Bipolar Teddy Bear, and we ran a bunch of series, and they weren't very good. They were all right. They were funny. David Reed, he's a great guy. He was on them. He's hilarious. I wish he'd come back, but he's a granddaddy now. He's got more important things to do. But this is basically us just trying to revisit these things and not say fuck 150 times in the episode.
Yeah, there was a lot of just profanity for no reason, I feel, in those episodes.
Well, that's how we talk outside of like in normal life.
True.
Yeah, but
true.
But it was a little excessive.
Yeah, easy. We were talking last night about what's that movie? The movie was called like Last Breath. It's the one that just came out about the underwater oil folks.
Yeah.
And they make bank, dude. They're gone like 3 or 4 weeks, and then you get 3 or 4 weeks off. That if I had to choose a different career path, I'd probably go to the oil fields. I mean, I would work 2 weeks for 2 weeks off.
Oh yeah. Well, them people that climb them down towers, man, replace antennas and light bulbs, they make a fortune, and they only do it like a handful of times a year. That's what I would do.
Yeah, how would you even get into that though? Like, do you just get certified in climbing and go from there? Just start applying?
Just go up there, be like, I ain't scared of heights. I'll climb that bitch today. I don't care.
You know, this is probably not a popular notion, but in my opinion, you could easily, like any career in America, instead of college, you could have, like, let's say 4 years of an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to be a lawyer, you could go apprentice with a lawyer for 4 years, learn everything about it, instead of taking, like, you know, because college kids have to take everything in the world that has nothing to do with the occupation they're going into. I think it should be more hands-on and less classroom.
Yeah.
You could have a little bit of classroom stuff, but I think those 4 years would be better spent. If you're learning to be a surgeon, shadow a surgeon for 4 years and do your practice, like, behind the scenes and stuff. I know they still have to do residency and all that, but I'm talking 4 years of actual practice.
Well, if they did that, they wouldn't get you into the slave mentality of working, you know, a 9-to-5 job and coming back. That's what the school system's set up for. I mean, that's the duty system.
Dude, I know an attorney that has almost $400,000 in student debt and is paying the equivalent of a mortgage every month for student debt.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. I mean, college sucks too, I reckon. I've worked with people that made the exact same amount of money as me. Actually, mine made a little more than them in the past. That went to college for like 6 years and had a master's degree in something. I was like, I was making money.
You know, as someone who got caught in that trap, I would totally, like, to any young person, you know, you really have to think it out. Like, if you're going for some general crazy, like, business degree,
yeah,
it's not even worth it. But if you're going for, like, if you have a very specific career in mind, it may be worth it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, experience far outweighs, like, just a general art degree or something.
Like Easy was saying, trade school. That's trade school's where it's at. I don't know. That ain't what Easy said, but that's where it is at. It's plumbers, electricians, things like that. I knew a guy that was a plumber who he would charge no less than $100 a visit. That's just to come out, and he'd do like 13 or 14 houses a day.
Yeah, there's the dude that put in our we needed like 2 or 3 extra electric outlets in the basement, and the electrician won't show up here and do anything like that for less than $500.
Yeah.
And it took him 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's where it's at. That's, if I had life to do over again, that's what I do. I'd be a plumber because I feel like I'm a good shit man. Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm assuming it would be easy to get injured at a job like that. You'd have to be like an expert climber for sure.
You'd have to be in damn good shape, like really good shape. It takes hours to climb some of those towers out in the Midwest, in the plains and stuff. Those things are 1,000 feet tall, if not more. Let's see. So in the 1980s, let's see.
Oh yeah, that's true, Larry. But it goes back to what I was saying. Like, it's cool. Like, I really enjoyed like philosophy and ethics and all of that good stuff and physics. But, you know, do you need to know that to be? Do you need to know physics to go into the career that you are trying to go for? I think that should be the question. And if the answer is no, then it's probably Cecil does have a great pillow crack.
I do.
Uh,
It's actually pretty impressive. It's really hairy though.
but yeah, I don't know. Like maybe you don't need to know physics to be a social worker. I don't know. Like it's a matter of opinion. I'm just saying it seems like students get flogged with all these classes that they really don't need for the profession they want to go into, and creates, well, for some it creates generational debt. Like the attorney that I'm talking about. The attorney is barred, but is not like a practicing law attorney or anything. Like they're not making bank, like $500,000. They're not making big money, and approaching $500,000 in debt.
That's so wild. And I've got an uncle that's a doctor. I think he's a doctor. Actually, he's got 2 doctorates. And he didn't even have student loans. It's so crazy how much that has changed, like from back when he went to school to now. Like he paid it off like working while he was going to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Pre 1990, you could work at Taco Bell and pay off your student debt.
Yeah. So in the 1980s, increased reports of glowing orbs, strange animal behavior, and shadowy figures began circulating among ranchers and locals in the Uinta Basin. Many attributed these occurrences to the influence of Skinwalker lore, theories of a cursed land. I think in the 80s is like the first report of seeing something come out of a portal. We're going to we'll talk about that later too, because that actually occurred, I think, on camera at some point. I didn't find anything like any videos. I didn't pull any videos or nothing.
I could probably find some weird Skinwalker videos at the end of this.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
But they're, as far as the theories of a cursed land, we talked about the Aztec gold and how it got there. But the one thing that we didn't talk about a while ago is that it's supposed to be cursed. And like I said, the people at Blind Frog found some of the gold, and I would say nothing but terrible things have happened to them throughout the show. So it could be. But they're saying that the curse itself could potentially explain the area's paranormal disturbances. And it's not Skinwalker Ranch, but it's very close. There was a dude, and I can't remember all the details, but I made a video about it on TikTok. If you don't know, we kind of have a behind the scenes TikTok where we post like strange stories. It's called Folk and Weird. Weird with a Y.
Yeah.
But there's a story called like Treasure Hunt or something that I put together about this dude who was hunting an Aztec treasure close to Skinwalker Ranch. It's again in an underwater cavern, like what we were talking about. It was Blind Frog. He gets in to go scuba diving and sees native ghosts under the water, like zombies almost.
Really?
Yeah. So he leaves and goes and hires divers.
That's what I'd do.
He didn't tell the divers about it. And these 3 divers get in the water and they get down in there, and I think 2 of them almost died because their equipment malfunctioned. And he was going back. So that failed. And he had the idea to go back with a backhoe from the top and go down. So he did a borehole, like an exploratory borehole, and came back up with gold fragments.
Nice.
So they were going to dig, and he gets all the equipment set up and is on his way down the road to go do something and dies on his way down the road in a car accident. I'm trying to find the name of this video so that you guys can go watch it if you want to. I'll find it in a second. Yep. You can keep talking, Cecil.
So there are indigenous legends as well. The Ute tribe, native to the Uinta Basin, have long believed the area to be plagued by malevolent I said it right that time. Into malevolent entities.
Close enough.
Yeah. Known as skinwalkers, witches capable of transforming into human animals. The belief has contributed to the ranch's ominous reputation. Let's see. So there's been some local ranchers, neighbors of the ranch, reportedly have done explained cattle mutilations on their land too. Sightings of mysterious lights in the sky and encounters of unidentified creatures as well. So, in 1994, this is when the Sherman family, which pretty much brought it to the national attention, actually came to arrive at the ranch. 1994, what a better life that was.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was president. Did OJ do it? Just all around good times back in 1994.
I was thinking about not 1994 specifically, but I was at Kroger. These stories always start with me at Kroger because it's one of my only public appearances.
Yeah.
But you know how much a bottle of water costs now? At least up here. A bottle of Dasani or Aquafina. I'm like, who's buying this water, first of all?
Yeah.
It's a normal size bottle. It was $2.49 at the grocery store.
For a bottle of water?
Yeah.
It's like $1.50 here or something like that.
So the treasure that I was talking about, it's in Kanab, Utah, not far from where we're talking about with Skinwalker. But there was so some believe that Jesuits actually hid artifacts in the gold. Some people say that they stole it from the Aztecs. Some people think it was buried by Spanish who stole it from the Aztecs. But it was, I'm trying to see. What is that guy's name? I'll tell you what, if you
Deuce Mongoose.
I'll try to redo a TikTok about that. If you go and follow the Folk and Weird page, it's on there. If you scroll down, it's called the Kanab Utah Treasure. But I'll try to do a slideshow about it just to not hold us up on Skinwalker stuff.
Nice. We're burning through this a lot faster than I thought we would. You're right.
Yeah. We have a talent.
Yeah.
But let's see. Where did I leave off here? I left off on the Aztec gold. That's what got me onto the Kanab Utah stuff. So people say that activity increases when people start digging. That's what like threw the flags, because as soon as the dude dug, he died in a car accident. And what's crazy, it was a bizarre car accident too. Like he hit the only tree within a 50-mile radius or something. Like it was one of those deals. But
just shit luck.
yeah. But there are indigenous legends. The Ute tribe.
We've already covered that.
Did you already say that?
Yeah. Okay. We're on to the Shermans have arrived now.
Yeah, I got you. I was in the zone looking for that article. So did you already hit you said in 1994? What a time.
Yeah.
So the ranch was purchased by Terry and Gwen Sherman. On their first day of moving in, they encountered a massive wolf that nearly killed a calf. They shot at it 6 times, but it simply walked away and disappeared like vapor. They didn't share their experiences until they were ready to move out, fearing that they would be labeled as crazy. But they sold their 512-acre property for just $200,000, which was a significant loss considering the most recent sale price was $4.5 million.
Yeah.
This suggested that they were eager to leave, reinforcing the credibility of their experiences. Yeah, they apparently it was a huge black wolf too that they said was almost as big as the cow.
Yeah.
And they shot at it, and it honestly didn't even pay attention to them, even as they were screaming and shooting at it.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, it was a 357 that he shot it with too. I remember that specifically.
That's a bear gun.
Yeah, like he popped it, like he knows for a fact he shot it. But it just kind of disappeared without a trace.
That's why you gotta keep the 4570.
Yep. The first oddity, so when they moved in, before they sold it and everything, of course there was a lot of things that happened. The first oddity was the presence of heavy deadbolts on every door and window when they moved in. Chains on the front and back door suggested that guard dogs had once been tied up there. The previous owners had taken extensive measures to secure the property, yet little information exists about, everything that happened when they owned it. Adding to the mystery, the Shermans discovered that the previous owners had stipulated that any digging on the land required their permission. This could be linked to the area's rich oil reserves. Minerals rights were often retained by previous landowners.
That seems crazy, like that mineral rights would be retained by the previous owner of a property.
It's kind of common, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, like in where we grew up. If you own a land that has natural gas on it and you like let people drill for the natural gas, even if you sell that land, you still get like dividends for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It just seems like the new owner would inherit those dividends because they own the land at that point.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. It's something drawn up in the land contract or something like that. Or in our hometown, if you let them dig, you just live there for the rest of your life and get free gas. That's what most people do. I know a bunch of people that do that. But there were a lot of unexplained events throughout their time on the ranch. So one thing, we have a huge list of these. Do you want to go through each one of these?
Yeah, I can hit them. So they reported that tools would disappear and later reappear in strange locations. I agree, Easy. Like it seems like a very gray area. And it seems like a lot of times people get taken advantage of in those scenarios too, with mineral rights or even coal or oil. I think a lot of times they're just getting peanuts compared to what the folks that come in get.
And talking about it being renewable, that kind of, do you remember when that gas well exploded when we were young?
Yeah.
Dude, how much natural gas do you think that put off?
A lot.
It lit up a whole county, dude. The fire flame from this natural gas explosion was no less than 400 feet high. And it was straight in front of my house, like on top of the hill in front of my house. We were at my friend's house smoking weed when we were like, I don't know, 12, 13. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. This is a fun story. We were sitting there, didn't hear nothing. And all of a sudden outside, everything turned orange, like as bright as day outside, but it was orange. It looked like hell had came to earth. And so we took off running. One of my friends fell straight to his knees and started praying. He's still a Christian to this day because of that, like a devout Christian. And me and my other friend took off running, and there was like earth falling from the sky, but you never heard anything. And when we got to my house, which seen the fire flame, like the fire flame was literally 300 or 400 feet high, and it was nuts. And my dad was standing on the porch drinking a beer. You know, the first thing he said was, "You reckon a plane crash?" That was crazy. But the reason I bring that up, how much natural gas do you think that put off?
I don't even know how to quantify that, dude. But didn't they get it under control and recap it?
Yeah, I guess they just turned it off. We went up there after, like a couple days later, and it was just a huge hole in the ground. Like literally, it looked like a crater, like from a meteor. It was nuts.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, that was fun times.
trying to see what's trending on Twitter real quick. Hawk Tua ain't trending anymore.
Did they catch her?
I don't know. She will. I would not be surprised if that girl doesn't go to jail for rug pulling that crypto stuff. And it's basically insider trading.
Yeah. I mean, if she goes, there's a lot of other people that should go.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
They normally, it seems like they take the low hanging fruit first, though.
Oh yeah. But one of the strange occurrences was tools would just randomly disappear and later reappear in strange locations, such as one time a post hole digger disappeared, and they were like, "Where the hell is this post hole digger?" And they found it 30 feet up in a tree. There was instances of a heavy metal object vanishing from a locked shed, only to be found days later on the roof of the house. So like things would just kind of disappear. It's not like losing your 10 millimeter socket, you know.
Yeah.
Close that thing. Like is legit things, and they would just turn up like on top of a house or
it's like
embedded in a tree. Something.
Yeah, I mean, just like the cow falling from the sky, right? It doesn't make any sense. Which also kind of goes against what I think the Museum of Terror guy had a really limited view. Like, yes, it's true that people who experience stuff at Skinwalker Ranch, it's been proven that people who have experiences there have minor brain damage after those experiences.
Yeah.
So there very well could be like some sort of energy weapon that they've developed there or that existed. But all this stuff with objects on roofs and people losing their 10 millimeter sockets, that's a physical phenomenon. Like that's not, to me, that's not a brain energy weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm telling you, and along with the cattle mutilations, what you said, there's a lot of them that seemed like they'd been dropped from great heights because they had broken bones everywhere, but there were no impact marks around. So that's one strange thing. Another strange thing was the crop circles appearing overnight. Let's see.
Dude, I saw an awesome crop circle video about, like, you remember when crop circles were huge in the 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Apparently the people who quote unquote debunked that stuff, it later came out that they never really debunked it at all. Like there were so many differences in what they were trying to say they could, like how they could recreate them. They could never perfect how it was done, like to lay the corn and stuff over so perfectly. That was one of those things where the media, I mean, that was still when people trusted the media for the most part, but that was one of the most effective smear campaigns of potential contact that has ever happened.
Yeah. Wasn't there an episode of X-Files where it might have been something. Actually, I think it was that show So Weird that came on Disney Channel with the little girl that was into paranormal stuff.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, that was a good show. There was a town that had actually harvested the corn, and like everybody that ate it got like psychic abilities or something. I'd like to go back and rewatch that. That'd be a good one. You still playing on Twitter?
No, I was trying to see if I had that crop circle video. But the disembodied voices were also a big thing around this time too. The voices sometimes spoke in an unfamiliar language and were often described as coming from the Sherman's head. So like voice of God technology.
Yeah.
As if from an unseen presence. Household objects moved on their own, like kitchen utensils, hairbrushes, heavy furniture would shift locations, sometimes while they were sitting there in the living room. UFOs were frequently sighted. These range from fast-moving lights in the sky to silent triangular-shaped crafts hovering over the property. Unusual birds not native to the area were often seen flying overhead. Some of them resembled exotic tropical species.
And Yeah, when we say unusual birds, we're not talking about that double-headed thing that.
Yeah, not the giant bull sack. A strange black mist was observed moving independently around the property, often described as having an intelligent presence.
Yeah, like it would interact with people. Like I actually remember this story. Like they would be out and it would just kind of come up to them, kind of like the orbs too. Like
Yeah.
the orbs in that area would just kind of like buzz around them and stuff. Sometimes.
Yeah, Larry, it does, and that's why like a lot of like even if you watch the show Skinwalker Ranch on Discovery, it was discovered that even after the first episode, the dude who owns it had brain damage after one of the I think it was a UFO event. So that's what the argument is here, is that some people are saying that all of this stuff, like everything that they're seeing, that they're hearing, is literally their brains are getting fried by some kind of energy weapon that's close. But the doors and cabinets would slam on their own, sometimes locking family members inside rooms without any visible mechanism. Mysterious large footprints. I'm pretty sure there's been Bigfoot sightings, but some of these resembled three-toed reptilian prints were found in dirt around the property. They would appear overnight with no signs of human or animal disturbance. The Shermans would report seeing shadowy figures peering through the windows at night, only to vanish when confronted. Sometimes those figures were described as having glowing red or yellow eyes.
That was me.
Yeah. They're floating orbs. So they would see the orbs in the sky like UFOs, but they would also see orbs down low, like in the woods. And they were frequently seen moving around the ranch, sometimes appearing to observe the family. One particularly aggressive orb reportedly chased a family member, forcing them to flee.
Now the orbs, I wonder what that like. I don't. When it comes to orbs, like the ones they're talking about, they're like anywhere from like this to like basketball size and a little bit bigger sometimes. I don't really think of those as like alien technology. I would think of more though. Like I always thought those were more like a
spiritual thing.
Spirituals, yeah, spiritual related.
Yeah. Well, there's and I don't see it like right off the rip here, but there's also been like a La Llorona type figure seen at Skinwalker Ranch. So there's like a creek bed, and you may not know La Llorona, but you've heard of the crying lady, like the ghosts that are all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a crying lady at Skinwalker Ranch that people have seen too, and the like La Llorona and all those other legends like that. If you were to get close to the crying lady next to the body of water, she will drown you. And there's been reports of people being grabbed by this woman next to the water.
That's scary.
Yeah. Let's see. So one particularly disturbing event involved Gwen Sherman returning home with groceries, only to find all the items that she put away back in their bag moments later. She was so disturbed by this incident that she initially doubted her own memory before other family members came forward and confirmed similar occurrences, which is nuts.
That sounds like a rift in like time and space. Yeah.
Like you're exactly right. Like time space manipulation.
Wouldn't that piss you off? Like that would just make me more mad than anything after you get done putting everything away and it's back there. Like that's kind of a version of hell I don't want to be in. Like my version of hell, I'm gonna be partying with Satan. But this one right here is just constantly putting groceries away, like taking them from the car to the kitchen and putting them away, and then they're back in the car.
I think a Groundhog Day situation may not be bad. Like as long as it was a whole day and not 13 seconds of unloading groceries.
If it was a whole day, I could live with it because I mean, I'd call in work every day. I'd go ride around town, do all kinds of little mischievous things. That'd be fun.
Yeah. You could get a lot done. I feel like learn a bunch of stuff, like master the piano, you know.
That's what he did.
Yeah, exactly. Like 1408. That is a totally underrated movie, by the way. I love that movie.
That movie sucked.
It's underrated, dude. That is I don't like Cusack's acting, but 1408 was a good horror movie.
I have to watch it again. I watched it twice, and I was like, the first time I was like, I really want to like this movie. I didn't. Then years later, I was like, maybe if I watch it now, I'll like it. Then I watched it again. I was like, I still don't fucking like this movie. I've got it.
I've never been like the biggest fan of Cusack's acting, but the concept and the overall atmosphere of the movie was amazing. I feel.
Sure.
Did you check out that show what we were talking about last night?
No. I ended up having to buy it. I bought it on Amazon. I'm gonna watch it later.
I was thinking about that today. I haven't watched any more, but I'm on the second season. There's only 2 seasons. I think that is maybe the first original show that's came out that has been decent in 5 years.
Yeah. I seen it on there. I'll check it out later. Kevin can fuck himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good title, really. It's straight to the point, you know. Like, what can Kevin do?
Yeah, there was a lot of that was like a mid 2000s thing. There was a ton of movies that were just numbers, like 23, 1408, 2012. There was what was the
10,000 BC?
Yeah, 10,000 BC.
Yeah. There was a lot of number of movies. 2001 Maniacs, you know. Have you ever watched 2001 Maniacs? We're getting off topic.
No, I don't think so.
It's stupid. It's about a group of people that end up in this little town where everybody's dressed up like in the 1800s and stuff. It's got Robert England in it, and it's a southern town, so they're all like part of the Confederacy. And so, spoiler alert, they're all ghosts. It's a good movie though.
You know, there's a numerologist that I would like to talk to sometime. He's called Kevin the Numbers Guy. I think that's his name. And he's got some crazy numerology stuff. But he was wrong about the president. So I don't know. I kind of take my numerologist like I take my psychics. Like they, you know, maybe they do have some insight, but not to a crazy degree, perhaps.
Yeah. So there was one instance, getting back to Skinwalker, that the family, you know, we talked about cattle 4 or 5 times throughout this, but the family's cattle would just disappear and reappear miles away without any signs of movement or disturbance in surrounding terrain. There was one time, and they actually showed this on the show, where these bulls ended up. There were 4 bulls that vanished from a locked corral, only to be discovered crammed inside of a small metal trailer with no explanation of how they got there.
It's not easy to get bulls in trailers anyway.
Well, this is what's crazy. When they opened the trailer, it was full of dust and cobwebs, like it hadn't been opened in years, and so there was no sign of anybody actually opening it.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it was small too, so to get 4 bulls in it would have been a hassle.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a trailer you pull behind the truck. It was a little trailer like on the property, like a little shed, basically, kind of metal.
Oh yeah, like a building, like a small white building.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to get bulls to do anything. Like especially putting multiple together in a small confined space. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. One of the most chilling encounters involved a UFO sighting. The Shermans described a craft as large as 2 football fields hovering over their property. Another unsettling incident involved their dogs chasing. This one's horrible. It involved their dogs chasing an orb of light into the darkness, and when the dogs went out, all they could hear was dogs squealing, like in pain. And the next day, when they went out to look for the dogs, all they found was scorched earth and a puddle of liquefied remains.
That's nuts. You know, from what I remember, I don't think that's the only dog incident either like that. I think it's very common for people to have animals, like household animals, go missing.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't like that at all.
You know, the whole Bigelow thing. It's crazy that he's involved in so much stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets into more of the scientific portion of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, the Shermans finally had enough, and they sold the ranch at a significant loss to Robert Bigelow
in 1996.
Yep.
And he was a wealthy businessman with a strong interest in the paranormal. And he's also the dude that's involved with Bob Lazar, right?
I believe so. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him and Jason something, I think, that's involved with Lazar. Statham, yeah. But he's the one that purchased the ranch for $200,000 that we were talking about. So they sold it at an extreme loss. And he set up the National Institute for Discovery Science and staffed it with scientists, military personnel, and veterinarians to monitor the area 24/7. And there was actually a point in time where they had like dog kennels, like kind of spaced out across the property, and they would have dogs and like a guard that would just walk around as almost like overseers, just looking for stuff and video cameras.
Yeah.
But during his ownership, an 84-pound calf was found mutilated in broad daylight, blood drain, no traces left behind, and surgical precisions. 4 bulls, normally aggressive and difficult to herd. Well, that was a trailer incident that happened during the Bigelow years.
Yeah, so I got that mixed up.
Large scoops of earth were removed with no tracks leading to or from the area. Missing soil never found, and these kind of formations would appear overnight. Witnesses would observe glowing orbs and strange humanoid figures emerging from portals. Some orbs displayed a metallic sheen and emitted beams of light that would scan the surroundings. That's weird. That's kind of like some Space Odyssey stuff.
Yeah, that's some nuts. Now the portal things are crazy. There was that one time they witnessed a black faceless humanoid was stepping out of a floating yellow light before disappearing into the landscape. That would, man, if I seen that in real life, we were watching Game of Thrones, and we just got done with the Battle of the Night King or whatever. And there's a line that the redheaded guy says, I forget his name, the wildling. He's like, "Which one of you cowards shit my pants?" That would be me, 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, they say no physical evidence was recovered, but they had cameras all over the property, dude.
Yeah.
But in 2016, Bigelow sold the property for the $4.5 million to Brandon Fugel, a real estate investor and self-proclaimed skeptic. Initially doubtful, he has since changed his stance after witnessing a UFO move at incredible speeds before vanishing. And under his ownership is when the History Channel got involved. And Bigelow went on, I think, between 2016 and now is when Bigelow did the whole Bob Lazar showcase thing.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, since Brandon Fugels bought it, stuff still happens. Numerous unexplained phenomenon have been reported, many of which are documented in the History Channel series, The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. The electromagnetic anomalies, investigators have detected unusual electromagnetic readings that interfere with electronic equipment, leading to malfunctions and data loss. Data loss.
Oh, that just gave me an idea. So if you haven't seen it, I don't care about Skinwalker Ranch as much as I do Blind Frog, just because it's kind of a whole different. And we should do an episode on that sometime. But Blind Frog has a whole different vibe than Skinwalker. It's got a little bit of this stuff, like with the mutilations and paranormal and aliens and you name it, but it's more gritty. Like there's real people doing shady stuff. But one thing, and I remember sending you a picture of this. I stopped the show to take a picture of it. They're just like randomly on a hill surveying something one day and find a manhole cover that was branded with NASA and had like a date of like 1986 or something on it. And they're like, what? And it wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't a full size manhole cover, but it was like, I don't know, like that, like basketball sized. And it's like, well, what was NASA doing there? You know, NASA's never mentioned in either of the shows, as far as I remember.
Yeah. One thing that we haven't talked about is the sounds that come from underground too. This has always occurred. I don't know how I left it out of this. Like I'm saying, I think this is like a first draft that I think I might have put the final draft in the hard drive and forgot to get it. But there's mechanical sounds underground quite often. Like it sounds like machinery underground.
If they like, so there's a conspiracy. I'm sure all of you listening who are conspiracy enthusiasts already know this, but the underground speed rail tunnels that lead all across America that they're allegedly using to get from one side of the continent to the other in an hour, that could generate a lot of magnetic anomalies, depending on what kind of. I mean, if they're using magnets for that purpose, like for the speed rail,
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe that's just a part of the U.S. that's just shallow enough to it.
Yeah,
to get some effects.
It really could be. I mean, it's possible. And since Brandon Fugels owned it, they've had the UAPs, the UAP sightings. I'm going to keep on calling them UFOs. Frequent signs of mysterious lights and objects in the sky have been reported, showing flight patterns and behaviors not consistent with known aircraft.
I think it would predate Elon. Like these tunnels, like this has been a conspiracy for a long time. We were talking about Denver Airport.
Yeah.
When was Denver Airport built? I forget
too.
But apparently Denver Airport is one of the access points for these tunnels. And there's stuff that alludes to it all in the airport. And there was a dude that took an elevator to get down to a different floor and realized after a few seconds that the elevator just kept going and going and going. It opens up like in like what you would think of as like a liminal space, like the back rooms. And he's in an empty hallway and goes down to the pisser and walks in. And he said that the urinals were hitting him in the face. Like they were that tall. And people think that was, basically the access point to get down there. And, you get into giants and everything else. But yeah, these speed rail tunnels, it's not even just the U.S. Apparently, there's a tunnel that goes from the U.S. to England as well. And you think about, and you can look this up, our internet from country to country, apparently it's not just like satellites. There's a huge wire that, like I think a huge Ethernet cable under the ocean. This is what they say. This is the official narrative that goes from the United States to England and that's how we're able to communicate back and forth, not satellites. But if they can drop a huge Ethernet cord, it's not far fetched to think they could develop a tunnel system.
The Denver airport was constructed in '89.
Yeah, so that would have
and
been.
they moved millions and millions of square cubic feet of dirt to that doesn't line up with what they had to build there.
Yeah.
But if people in Clay County find out that there's copper in that fucking wire, we are without internet. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like I get it. Like, but did we ever hear about them running that cable though? Does anybody remember that? Like, I feel like that would be one of the major accomplishments of humanity if they were able to run a huge. I mean, why do they keep it on the low? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Tony Stark does that thing with underground stuff in one of the Iron Man movies.
Maybe that's it, easy. Maybe it was just so long ago that it's just not celebrated as a marvel of humanity.
Yeah, I'm like, we've been laying cables for years, dog. What we do, lay cable all day. Then we go home and lay pipe.
Laying cable and laying pipe. Where are we at? Animal disturbance?
Yeah.
1886. So I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Maybe we'll get into that. We'll definitely have to look that up because we talk about it every now and again, and I'm just like, the more I think about it, the more ridiculous it seems.
I mean that like the Morse code, like Easy Mac was saying, they had to have stuff like that to interconnect everything, so it makes sense.
That's true, but think about how easy it would be. Think about how rough the oceans are in some spots. Like it seems like it would be very easy for those wires to get shredded.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we'll do at least part of a show or something and talk about that at some point. I need to look into that more.
I don't know if they have a video that follows the cable from point A to point B, and we'll just sit here and watch that for hours.
Yeah. We'll watch the whole thing. We'll co-watch the documentary. We'll have a watch party.
That'd be fun.
So getting back to Skinwalker Ranch from the ocean. We already talked about livestock, but apparently not only were they disappearing and being murdered, I don't know what else to say, deconstructed.
Yeah.
they were also exhibiting very unusual behavior, and there were instances where the animals would, behave super weird to people, like as well.
Yeah.
Like skittish. I don't know if they ever killed anybody, but I'm sure some people could have been injured. Yeah, if somebody can find the name of the documentary or a documentary that we can watch, I mean, as you guys know, more times than not, the documentary, at least these days, you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, there's old world technology, or
Yeah.
I don't know. We can watch it together. We just need to we'll find the documentary and we'll have a watch party one night.
I'm down for it.
But physical health effects, team members and visitors of Skinwalker Ranch have experienced sudden onset symptoms like nausea, headaches, skin irritation, brain damage that we talked about earlier. And these ongoing occurrences continue to, I guess, pad the pockets of the History Channel. They've kept that show going forever.
Is it still going?
I think so.
Wow. I figured that would have ended forever ago, honestly.
So there's a lot of theories about what's going on. What do you think's going on?
Over the years, there's been a lot of theories about it. Like right here, where I have, secret military experiments into interdimensional gateways, each attempting to explain. Each one of these is attempting to explain it. There's a lot that I have here, with support and evidence of each one.
What was Dave's theory that you were talking about earlier?
It's actually a legitimate theory. Now it is. I don't know if it was when we originally did it, but I found another theory: alien refueling station. So it's one of the more unconventional hypotheses. It's one of the more unconventional hypotheses. But it serves as extra trash. It serves as an extraterrestrial refueling station where aliens extract energy from dark matter and other exotic sources. So the supporting evidence for that is multiple reports of the UFOs in the area, unusual energy fluctuations and radiation levels that do not correspond with natural resources. The witness accounts of strange lights and aircraft performing impossible maneuvers. And there actually have been people that seen these spacecraft removing stuff from the ground.
There's, I don't know, like the history starts in 1600. In the 1600s, I feel like, yeah, you can throw it either way, Larry.
Yeah,
you can
if you email it to witf@gmx.com, I'll for sure remember where it's at.
It's down there. It's down there in the bottom left.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do if you send that, we'll watch that here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we don't get paid for this anyway, so I mean, what are they going to do?
Might as well. Well, yeah. What are they going to do? You may have to come to Rumble after they ban us off YouTube, Larry.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, the fact that this stuff goes all the way back to the 1600s is the only reason that I don't think it's a government energy weapon. I mean, maybe there is energy weapons there now, but the fact that it goes back so far, the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, all had, like, ever since humans repopulated the area.
Yeah.
So it could be that some technology in the old world, like pre-reset, existed. Like maybe that was there was a fifth element called the ether that people believed in before the last reset that they allegedly harnessed for energy that fueled a lot of houses. And we've played videos of the ether, but it could be that some sort of technology existed in this area. It's desert, so perhaps there was some kind of nuclear or equivalent event that happened there pre-reset as well that didn't leave crazy radiation. But I don't know.
And the main one is the Native American Skinwalker legend. It comes from the Navajo folklore, specifically referring to skinwalkers. Those evidence supporting that is the Ute tribe, whose land borders the ranch, believe the area is cursed and they avoid it.
I just think there's so much more going on than skinwalkers.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's a cursed land, it could be that, like, kind of like how the area around Loch Ness is. They say Aunt LaVey brought. I can't remember the names of the demonic entities. What were the demonic entities?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I'm queuing up some videos for us.
Aunt LaVey, what he brought to Loch Ness, they're saying that spurred the Loch Ness sightings and things like that. It essentially makes it a cursed land.
Was it? I thought it was Crowley.
Crowley, that's what I meant. Oh, Aunt LaVey, I'm an idiot.
I was like, I mean, you could have been right. I just that
Aunt LaVey's American.
Crowley was doing a bunch of like Lesser Key of Solomon, bringing Dukes of Hell into this plane of existence and stuff. He had that house he had the house in Scotland where they performed a ritual that lasted weeks or months, and was at the very end of it, and sliced the very end of it, like didn't do it right, and summoned allegedly like a
Bullshit.
half line demon that burned the house down and continues to burn the house down. It's been burned down like 3 or 4 times every time they renovate it.
Yeah, Jimmy Page bought it and it burnt down. But even with the Native American one, there's numerous eyewitnesses reports of shape-shifting creatures lurking in the region. And then you have the interdimensional portal hypothesis. Why can't I say words? You know, I speak professionally. like in my, and I can't say words most time. It's weird.
Cecil's not drunk.
No, I'm not. So on this one, that they theorize that's just interdimensional travel that allows entities from other realms to manifest in our reality. And this would be supported by, you know, the portals that people see, and actually seeing beings walk out of the fucking portal and off into the woods, just trolloping around. And then you also have the military testing grounds, which this one is probably this one's probably the most logical one if you want to go that route with it, because when people hear that mechanic stuff underground, it's untelling what the government has buried beneath our feet across the United States. But this dating back all the way to the 1600s kind of dispels that. So those are.
I'm trying to find the one. There's a video that went viral a little bit ago. Okay, I found it, I think.
I went viral once. They gave me some penicillin.
All right, I'm going to send you some videos, Cecil. I'm going to send them to your email.
Okay.
And these are videos that have went pretty viral the last few years of what people think are skinwalkers. There's one of a dog that is very bizarre, but it's the weed, Landa said.
It's the weeds. So I'll key these up.
Yeah, we'll finish it out with some videos of what people believe are skinwalkers caught on camera.
I've got to prove that I'm not a robot.
That goes back to, there's a lot of you've heard the theories of, like, if you hear whistling in the woods, don't whistle back. That is derived from a lot of native. There's even, I can't remember the name. The Cherokee also, it's not called skinwalker, the same word that Navajo use, but there was I think it's Cherokee. It was called the Manitou, I believe, or something similar to that, where it was basically a native shapeshifter. And then you've got the Wendigo. So there's a lot of weirdness in native lore of shape-shifting beings.
In Appalachia, you don't want to, if you hear your name, you don't want to acknowledge it, which I spent a lot of time in the woods as a kid, and I have heard my name before whispered, and I don't know if it's because when you're in the woods and you're by yourself, it's kind of a surreal, it can be a surreal thing, especially when you're in the deep woods, like miles away from anything. But I just never responded because I was always told if you hear somebody say your name, not to respond. So
yeah. Oh yeah, Larry, that's Iron Mountain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Iron Mountain for sure.
And I don't know if you've ever worked in corporate hell world, but every big business uses Iron Mountain to shred their stuff or retain documents, and it goes inside of a big mountain or a cave. It's crazy. If you look up the videos of, like, the 18-wheelers going into Iron Mountain.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just start at the top and work our way down.
Yeah, let's play some Skinwalker videos.
Do we need sound?
Probably.
Okay. This one's a little boy wearing his running outfit. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Get up here, Carly.
The fuck? Did you see that?
What the hell was that?
Look at that big arm. Yeah, that's wild.
Carly?
Look at that. I want to see that. I want to go back to that.
Get up here, Carly.
Even if that's fake, that's terrifying.
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
Get up here, Carly.
Oh, that's crazy easy. I'll have to look into that.
Oh,
I don't
No.
know if I believe that one.
I don't either. Now my dog does this.
Right before they're about to puke or something.
Exactly. I don't like this greater things, but that was rough looking. That one right there. That one right there.
There's another one of these. It's the last video. We'll have a more opportunity to talk about this one.
That one right there. When I seen that, the dog open up the door and look around and close it, I was like, that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
If one of my
Yeah.
dogs did that, I would kick it in the face as much as I love them. Like, couldn't help not to. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why didn't you tell me you could open doors?
Yeah. If you can open doors, why do I have to go to the refrigerator and get your damn water? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Why do I have to take you out?
Baby.
I don't have a dog.
That was crazy. Those are really scary. Some of them. That first one, man, I want to watch that again. Like,
Get up here, Carly.
Even if it's fake, I mean the boy doesn't look like you'd think he'd be laughing or something if it was a joke. You know what I mean?
Get up here, Carly.
yeah, but the arm, I don't know.
That arm is extremely long.
Yeah, and it kind of just didn't really look like it was moving. You know what I mean? Looks like it was moving with the motion. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know neither.
I hate that you can't just watch videos anymore and be like, oh, that's real.
I agree. There's so much AI. It sucks.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and watch this one. Looked like a snake, it did, except it was attached to a weird ass looking person with black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a vine for sure. Well, let's see.
Go, go, go. What the hell? Inside. Go.
I did. Oh my gosh. He's going to the basement.
This has to be a movie.
Gotta lock it now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This has to be a movie.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's probably a movie, dude.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody.
Still good though.
Let's see. There was another one where a dude heard one on a horse. Let me see if I can get this one. I'm just trying to remember videos I've seen over the last few years.
Here's more to it though.
Yeah, I agree, Larry. I'm not hearing the howling.
I heard a little bit of it.
Oh yeah.
A biker just went that way, and the sound got worse.
That sounds nuts. That sounded crazy.
I heard just a little bit of something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could hear it pretty well. That was pretty intense. Did you send more?
I sent the video. There's a dude on a horse. I remember a video from maybe like 6-8 months ago. I don't know if it's the video where he actually sees it, but I think that's the video where he hears it.
Is he riding on a horse with no name?
Yes.
You want to watch these other two first?
Yeah, we can. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. There we go. This one right here is a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
If you see this, leave your house immediately. The man in the video has his dog outside and wants to come in, but the problem is that his dog is already inside. That dog was a skinwalker, but I advise you not to watch the rest. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're still here,
That's just a
We saw that one earlier.
followers who have commented and especially saved this video. Did you know that if you click on share and then on more and a blue radio app appears, it means you're
The dogs with human eyes.
Strange creatures come from Navajo culture.
Yeah, they creep me out too.
Near forests.
This was
But
a
lately,
dog.
they've been getting closer and closer to cities. They take the appearance of your pets or even humans to get close to you. Their goal is simple: to take your skin. In this video, a boy films his neighbor's balcony, but his neighbors have never had a dog. Look how scary its head is.
That dog looks like Falcor.
Yeah.
Never.
That was a cute one. What are they saying about that dog?
The first video though was going viral because the dude did say that his dog was already inside, and he's like, "What is this dog?"
Yeah. Let's see what this one does. That's not it.
There's this thing.
Just found out my baby mom.
There we go.
Oh yeah, the bathroom.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Hello. She wants to come in, Desson.
What?
What would you do if you saw that at the front door? Oh yeah, easy. A lot of these overlap, but
Yeah.
yeah, easy. My dad, he
Excuse me.
worked.
Nada. Are you doing dishes? I hope so.
I mean when I say it's terrifying when my dog opens a door.
Oh my god, that is horrifying. Oh my frick.
That's just a good dog. I mean, some of those are just good trained dogs.
Yeah, that's true. Easy. My dad used to work for the electric company, swapping out the rotary meters for the digital ones, and he had some crazy dog experiences. He's still a dog person,
Yeah.
but he'd be like, if you ever get a big dog that you can't get off of, you got one chance to hit him right here in the chest to get him to turn away. And if you miss that chance, you got to get your pepper spray out.
I've been attacked by dogs twice in my life. When I was a little kid, when I lived in Florida, I got attacked by a golden retriever. And I had a black lab. The black lab saved my life, thank God. Then when we moved to Kentucky, I got attacked by two golden retrievers. My black lab wasn't around this time, but the way that I got away, I put my fist all the way in one of its mouth, like all the way to the back of its throat.
Dude, the only time when we had our German Shepherd, the only time he ever got attacked
Yeah.
was by a golden retriever.
Yeah.
And he was such a well-trained dog, he never attacked back. But we were like screaming, like, you got to get control of your dog. Like, you got to get control of your dog, because he was like this close to snapping. Like, I mean, he was a good boy, but he could only take so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody always says that, Larry. They're like, you got attacked by the most friendly breed.
Listen,
Both times I got attacked was by golden retrievers.
every golden retriever I've ever met had been like vicious. Like, they love their family.
Yeah.
But as far as strangers and stuff goes, or other dogs even, you can't, you know, part of it's on the owners. Like, you have to socialize your dogs. And if you don't, and they get around strange dogs, they're going to fight for sure.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, both times I've been attacked was by golden retrievers. It's weird. Everybody always says they're so friendly. I'm like, well, these three motherfuckers, what? They were vicious motherfuckers.
Yeah, easy. My dad would also carry a walking stick. He had a big oak walking stick that he would carry with him too.
When I delivered pizza, there was one time a pit bull jumped in my car when I was opening the door to deliver it. And I was just petting it, and this dog was so nice. And the owner came out, he said, don't move. Don't move. I was like, what's happening? He's like, that dog will bite the shit out of you. It never did, though. It was a good dog.
Landa. Yeah, the same situation. Our German Shepherd he was like the coolest dog ever, like the chillest dog ever. But even he was starting to get aggravated with because the golden retriever was a juvenile too. It wasn't a very big dog.
Yeah. Let's watch this and let's see. Look at his horse's reaction. I said I'd post if I heard anything. It doesn't seem to want to leave.
Yeah, so this was going viral because this dude rides his horse and keeps hearing these crazy sounds.
Yeah.
There's one of them where he does see something off in the distance. But
is this Billy Ray Cyrus?
It could be.
You remember him singing, I'm going to take my horse to the
That's 99% accurate.
On that freaking.
Yeah, that's 99% accurate.
Let's watch this.
Just coming in from planting those trail cameras. There's vultures everywhere. It's odd.
That's appropriate. That was an appropriate response.
Yeah. You know, like, obviously there's some gimmick videos that we just watched, but a lot of the ones that I think are real are almost mimicky like that, like where horses or other animals hear something. It may not be a skinwalker, but they just say, hey, or hello. And it like, I've seen one, I can't find the video, but you hear somebody say, help, help. And the video zooms over into a field, and there's like what looks like a rake in the field. And I don't mean like a garden tool, but like a hairless being in the field saying, help.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe put in like help me Skinwalker and see what comes up. That may.
I'm just looking through his videos. And he's not somebody that posts only about this. Like it looks like that's just one of the rare ones. Let's see. Huh.
And that would have been one where
he's got a dope ass mustache.
Yeah, I can't find
it either.
I know what the video would look like, but
Is it in the dark?
it could be. I'd have to see it.
Let's see what this one is. It's stalking. Comment if you see it.
Yeah, like, hey, my name's Julie.
I don't claim any of this energy. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, dude, some of the comments on here are goofy.
Don't make eye contact. Let's watch this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Don't see the eyes anymore. It looked like it was looking at us, then it'd move, and then it'd look at us again. Oh, right there.
Okay, I see some eyes.
Flash.
Yeah, I saw some eye reflections. Larry's saying they can't hear it. I can hear it. That doesn't mean you can hear it.
That's true.
Oh, saw it again.
It doesn't have much audio anyway. It's more of a visual. You're supposed to be looking. There's some eye shine.
I can't tell.
Or it's a reflector somewhere.
It doesn't mean that it's a skinwalker, though.
Way down.
Try searching like like hello skinwalker or something like that. There's a video where there's a few of them where they're like they're seeing things that are talking to them, or help me skinwalker. That one with the sunset might be.
Jesus. That blew my damn eardrums out. Let's see. I hate pulling it like this because I can't full screen it from here for some reason, but here we go. All right.
That music.
Yeah, I don't want to watch this because if you got something that we're supposed to be listening for people's saying something off in the dark, don't play music behind it. That's horrible. Well, hello, Mr. Skinwalker.
Well,
I'm not finding
I mean,
it. Me Skinwalker. Let's see. That's the same damn video. This one right here always tripped me out. This one was always weird, but I think this is manufactured.
What? What's wrong with you?
that,
Burger? Please.
that's like an animatronic or something.
Yeah. Trap them, don't let them in.
God, we get the only comments we get from Twitch are spam company comments. I always forget that like Larry can't see what Easy says, and Easy can't see what Larry says. We stream to like all these places, and every one of them's comments comes into what we see, but you all can't see each other. It's sad.
Yep.
I think Landa can see Larry's comments though.
Yeah. Right, here's one that they apparently hear, hey, help.
It's on the other side. That's where all the gold is waiting over there. could be missing out what's on the other side. Hello? You turn around and you never get to.
That's exactly what I would do too.
The ones where they like, hello? And then like, fuck this and just get out of Dodge. Those are the ones I believe. Because that's a legitimate like reaction to things like that in the woods, especially. Like I spent a lot of time in the woods as a young person, and you will hear weird stuff. The key is not to respond, is what people always said. Let's see. Yeah, I used to go riding four-wheelers in the woods by myself all the time. ATV, constantly.
Yeah.
I'd be miles away from anybody, just deep in the middle of the woods smoking blunts. Back when I was a kid. But let's see. There's not really I'm not finding anything else on here.
Okay, easy. Yeah. Well, Cecil will check it out. We'll figure out. We'll check them out. We'll figure out a good day to do we'll do a watch party. And, well, obviously, we won't watch it straight through. We'll have to stop and talk and gossip.
Gossip a little bit. But, I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours anyway. So.
Yeah. I think the videos were definitely like a good finishing touch. There's been some crazy ones. There's ones that you can't find anymore where they were super believable. And like Cecil said, the majority of the time people end up turning tail and getting the hell out of there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the logical thing to do. The ones where they're like just still standing there talking like, hi.
Yeah. Well, because if it was a person, whenever the dude said hello,
yeah,
and nobody responded, you just hear branches breaking, I'm out. Like you had your chance to say I need help or something.
Yeah. And Larry and Easy, thank you so much. I've got the emails saved, and I'll vet these, and we'll see how we're going to play these, and we'll figure something out and do a watch party or something.
Yeah, that'll be good. Steven's got a bunch of stuff going on right now, and Morgana. I don't know where Morgana is actually, but we'll have to have like a full crew watch party.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun.
Easy. Before I forget, we do have David Watts coming on.
Oh yeah. When is that? When is David Watts coming on?
He will be on May 22nd.
May 22nd.
I think it's a Thursday. It's a weird, like he's a very busy man.
Yeah.
But what's crazy, that week we're going to be doing the David Flat Earth show on the 22nd. We're going to do our regular stuff on the 23rd. And then we've got a dude from Columbus, Ohio, who leads all of Columbus's ghost tours. He's probably going to be on the 24th. So it's going to be like a 3-day banger that week.
Yeah, I'm taking off work. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off work.
But if you all think of any more guest recommendations that you want me to reach out to, I don't care to reach out to anybody. We were talking to David Pilates' team, and dude, like most of our viewers don't even like. We have a small following on YouTube.
Yeah,
and they were basically like, "Is this you?" and sent a screenshot of our followers. And I'm like, "Look, do you want to talk or no? Like, just say, like, you don't gotta be disrespectful." Like, yeah, I mean, we're open to a lot of things. We talked about hollow Earth, flat Earth, globe, space.
Yeah, I mean, I just really want to hear experts talk about it, like people that actually study it and talk about it all the time and things like that. That's my thing, because I don't know.
We had a super crazy guy from Canada way before you guys started listening. He came on as a guest, and
no, I love Andrew.
He
like to get him back on.
He went deep.
Yeah, he
went about flat Earth, but Flat Earth Dave is kind of exactly, Landa.
Yeah,
Flat Earth Dave is kind of if you look him up, David Weiss. Every video has crazy amounts of views because he gets into these clashes with scientists and everything else.
Yeah, that's going to be a person that we kind of like Mr. Deo. We're just going to turn him loose, probably.
Yeah,
because the whole reason that we started this podcast was to meet interesting people that were pros in their fields, and they could teach us something. That was the primary source, and the primary reason, and to talk about shit that we found interesting. That's the reason we do it.
Yeah, but there's a happy medium. I mean, there at the beginning, we were doing guests every week.
Yeah,
and it was just a lot. Like with scheduling, we were like our personal lives were taking a hit.
Yeah.
And we did that for like a whole year where we had guests all the time. And sometimes you get crazy people.
Yeah.
You can't really plan for that. Like when you get somebody that wants to talk for 6 hours.
That was
except hang up. And I hung up on Cecil.
That was always my funnest. Around hour 4, he's like, well, see you. And I was like, okay. And 3 hours later, I was like, I'm still just sitting here. I love that though, because he told some interesting stuff. But yeah, I've never sat and listened to somebody talk for 6 hours straight. I said maybe 6 sentences for 6 hours.
I would also like to talk to Stephen about, Kimbo's never been on this show. Or getting like I would love to have a big cryptid person on.
Yeah, I'd love to have Kimbo back. I love Kimbo to death. But yeah, so
if you have guest ideas, send them to us.
Yeah. Long story short, send us guest ideas if you got them.
I don't care to reach out to anybody, but we may get laughed out of the room, just like with David. But most people are cool. Like they'll just be like, "We're too busy" or whatever.
Yeah. And if you want to be a guest, even if you want to just come on here and riff with us, I mean, we're open for anybody coming on here.
Oh yeah.
Or if you got something you want to talk about, just email us. Be like, hey, I want to be on.
Well, even if you don't want to be on camera, just keep in mind we always have the live call in.
Yeah, we can do live call-ins now, right here.
So, whenever David or somebody gets on, we could just tell him that's a wild card and have people call in.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that. Maybe call in. Do you think that maybe it might be a stuffed crust pizza of Earth?
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
we'll do something. Cecil will look into the video. We'll do a watch party here in a week or two.
Yeah.
If you don't already follow us, wherever you're watching, follow us. We're growing on Rumble slowly but surely. And if you're a crazy person watching on BitChute, hit the follow button because you've made it this far.
Yeah, and 5 years later, we went from 1 viewer to like 40. We love each and every one of them the same.
Yeah. We get a lot of traffic. Well, comparatively these days, like I know it's not actively people, but throughout not tonight, almost 500 people have watched. So
yeah, that's cool. But anyway, make sure that y'all like and subscribe, help us out a little bit, and try to grow us a little bit anyway. It'd be nice one day to be able to pay for the streaming service without paying for it. Totally.
Yeah, Landa, you're gonna be there that day when we get the person that's like, you guys suck.
Wait, I want to be like, we did initially get hate.
We got a lot of hate in the beginning. Yeah,
bipolar Tay Bear. People's like, you're fucking stupid. And I was like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. But that dropped off. What happened to all the haters? I missed that. Like, That's what really got my rocks off. I love the one. He's like, you shouldn't smoke on screen. It's unprofessional. I was like, I fucking smoke, dude. That's what I do. If I didn't smoke on screen, I'd be doing heroin on screen. So I have to have a vice. But anyway, we do appreciate all of you watching and staying with us all night. And tune in next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time if you got the availability to watch us cover some news articles and whatnot. I don't know. We might do another episode next Saturday. Might not. Depends on everybody's schedule. And make sure you check your closets. And thank you for watching us because we are watching you.
Peace. Skinwalker.